Hello students. In the previous chapter, we looked at the broad classification of living organisms under the system proposed by Whittaker, wherein he suggested the 5 kingdom classifications. The 5 kingdoms are Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Earlier, the classification system was different, and nowadays the classification system is different. Why? The reason is the understanding of the plant kingdom has changed over time. So, earlier classification was different, and then present classification system is completely different from earlier one. In what way? Let us see. In earlier classification, fungi and some members of Monera and some members of Protista, since they have cell wall, were grouped along with Plantae under the same kingdom. But nowadays, in present day classification, Plantae were separated from fungi, Monera and Protista. All were separated. And also, in earlier classification, the cyanobacteria were considered as blue-green algae. But now, they are not algae anymore. They are not under algae. At present, Plantae are classified into algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. In this chapter, we will study about the characteristic features of and classification of algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Now, let us also look at classification within angiosperms to understand some of the factors that influenced the classification system. The earliest classification system, it used only the gross superficial morphological characters such as habits, color, number and shape of the leaves, etc. And that was considered as artificial classification. And after that, next classification system was developed, that is natural classification, and then next phylogenetic classification, and then numerical taxonomy. What is the meaning of taxonomy? That is also classification. And then cytotaxonomy and chemotaxonomy. So many types of classification systems were developed. We will see all these one by one. First of all, let us see artificial classification. This artificial classification system, it used only the superficial morphological characters like habit, color, number and shape of leaves. All these habits are vegetative characters, and also it included the structure of androecium also. So all this artificial classification system, it included only the morphological characters. Sorry. So it was not accepted by all, because there were some drawbacks of artificial classification. And this artificial classification was given by Linnaeus. What are the drawbacks of artificial classification? There were 2 drawbacks. Here in this classification, since this classification is based on only a few characteristics, only morphological characteristics, it is separated closely related species. So it cannot be accepted. And then next, this system gave equal weightage to vegetative as well as to sexual characters, which is not acceptable, since vegetative characters are often affected by environment. So, because of these 2 drawbacks, this artificial classification was not accepted by all. As against this, another type of classification system developed, that is natural classification system. This natural classification system is based on natural affinities among the organisms, relationship among the organisms, and also it considered not only the external features but also the internal features like ultrastructure, anatomy, embryology, and phytochemistry. So, this natural classification system is based on external as well as internal features, and this system was given by the scientists George Bentham and Joseph Dalton Hooker. The next system of classification is phylogenetic classification. Do you know what is phylogenetic? Always phylogenetic means something related to evolution. So, phylogenetic classification is based on evolutionary relationship between individuals. This states that organisms belonging to the same taxa have a common ancestor. So, all the organisms belonging to the same taxa, they have descent from same ancestor. This is phylogenetic classification. And then next system of classification is numerical taxonomy. This numerical taxonomy is carried out with the help of computers. And then in this numerical taxonomy, the observable characters are considered. All the observable characters were given number and codes, or number and codes are assigned to all the characters, and this data are then processed under the computers, and each and every character is given much importance. Since this classification is done by computers, hundreds of characters can be considered. So, in numerical taxonomy, computers were used. Each and every characters were assigned number and codes, and these data were processed inside the computers, and then hundreds of characters were considered in numerical taxonomy. And the next system of taxonomy is cytotaxonomy. This cytotaxonomy is based on cytological information like chromosome number, chromosome structure, and the behavior of chromosomes. So, based on the number of chromosome, structure of chromosome, and behavior of chromosome, classification of done in cytotaxonomy. Let us see the last and the next, chemotaxonomy. Chemo is something related to chemicals. So, on the basis of the chemicals present inside the plants, the plant kingdom is classified. That is chemotaxonomy. This chemotaxonomy uses chemical constituents of the plants. The kingdom Plantae is classified into algae, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnosperms, and Angiosperms. Today in this chapter we will study about the characteristic features of algae. And in next video we will study about the classification of algae. What are algae? Algae are chlorophyll bearing simple thalloid organisms. They have chlorophyll, and then their body structure is thalloid. The body is not divided into leaves, stem, and roots. And they are autotrophic. That means they can perform the process of photosynthesis, and largely they are aquatic organisms. They can survive in fresh water as well as in marine water. And then let us see the habitat where they can survive. Mostly algae are aquatic organisms. They live in fresh water as well as in marine water, and they occur in moist stones, and they occur in soil, and they can survive in wood, and they occur in association with fungi as lichens. Already the lichens are the association between fungi and algae, and they also occur in association with animals like sloth bear. So algae can occur as lichens and also along with animals like sloth bear, and we can find algae in moist stones, in soil, and in wood, and also in aquatic habitat. Now shall we discuss about the form and size of algae. Some algae are microscopic unicellular. Example, Chlamydomonas. Some are in colonial forms. Many individuals, they live together. Colonial forms. Example is volvox. Look at these pictures. See here, this is the diagram of volvox, a colonial algae. And this is Chlamydomonas, unicellular microscopic organism, Chlamydomonas. Some are filamentous form, like a filament. Their body structure is like a filament. Examples are Eleutheryx and Spirogyra. And then another type of algae, that is kelps. They form massive plant bodies. So, algae can occur. Some algae are microscopic unicellular, some are in colonial forms, some are in filamentous form, and some they form massive plant bodies. Now, shall we move on to the reproduction in algae? Algae reproduce vegetatively, asexually, as well as sexually. You know what is vegetative reproduction? Here, algae, they reproduce vegetatively by fragmentation. What is fragmentation? The body of the organism will be broken down into small fragments, and each and every fragment will develop into a new individual. And algae reproduce by asexual reproduction also. Asexual means by producing zoospores. These zoospores are flagellated and motile. They can move and they have flagella. And then in sexual reproduction, fusion of gametes take place. Flagellated and similar in size. The gametes are flagellated, and then in some are non-flagellated and non-motile. The gametes that are similar in size are known as isogametes. The fusion of the similar incised gametes is known as isogamous. This isogamous takes place in Spirogyra. Fusion of gametes that are similar in size. The fusion of gametes dissimilar in size happens in Chlamydomonas, and it is known as anisogamous. In oogamous, fusion of one large non-motile female gamete and small motile male gamete takes place. And this is known as oogamous. That is fusion of one male and female gametes. The male gamete is small and motile, and the female gamete is large and non-motile. This happens in volvox and fucus. So, in this way, algae, they reproduce vegetatively, asexually, as well as sexually. Now, let us see some uses of algae. Algae are useful to man in a variety of ways. At least a half of the total carbon dioxide fixation on Earth is carried out by algae through photosynthesis. Since they can do photosynthesis, they increase the level of oxygen in the immediate environment. Why? Because during this process of photosynthesis, oxygen is released. And then some algae like Porphyra, Laminaria and Sargassum are used as food. Some brown and red algae, they produce hydrocolloids. So they are used as water holding substances. The algae that are used as water holding substances are algin and carrageen. algin and carrageen are used as water holding substances. Some algae like Gelidium and Gracilaria are used in the preparation of ice creams and jellies. Some algae like Chlorella are used as food supplement by space travelers because they are rich in protein, like Chlorella, a unicellular algae. Unicellular algae Chlorella is used as food supplement by space travelers because it is rich in protein. These are the some uses of algae. In next video, we will discuss about the main classes of algae. The main classes of algae are Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Thank you, students.